Welcome to the Great on Purpose podcast. My name is Alfonso Alexander and I am your host. In each episode of this podcast, you will have the opportunity to get to meet leaders from various backgrounds, various industries who are really just cool people doing great things on purpose. They are pursuing their purpose and pursuing greatness and walking in lockstep as they do it. You'll understand what we mean more about that as you get into the podcast. Our goal here is to help you understand that being great is not just something that happens. It is something that has to be done on purpose and in alignment with your purpose. Therefore, this is the Great on Purpose podcast. Enjoy.
Today's episode, Guided by Gratitude, features Alfonso Alexander's conversation with Angie Wyatt. With material appearing on C-SPAN, CNN, Court TV, CBS, NBC, ABC, and as co-host of a long-standing TV show on Fox affiliate KBSI, Angie Wyatt and her team at Growing Media are content creators specializing in video and show production, graphic design, animation, media buying, social and digital marketing management. Take a listen.
Hello, this is Alfonso Alexander, and we are back with the Great on Purpose podcast, where we talk to people who are achieving greatness on purpose. So we help you understand and learn from life experiences how there's an alignment and a connection between purpose and greatness. There's intentionality with being great. And I want to introduce you guys to a friend of mine, Angie Wyatt, who is great. She is amazing at what she does. She has a rich history of experiences that you'll learn some about today. And we are so excited to have Angie with us. Angie, say hello to everyone.
Hey, thank you. And, congratulations. This podcast is something that you've been discussing for a long time. It's something that you wanted to do, and you are doing it and doing it right. You've stacked the day, and you're going to team up with a lot of people, and I'm sure it will be insightful, and those watching should and will appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you for being here. One of the most fun times I had in 2020 was when I came on your podcast and had some fun with you guys and spent the day on the TV show as well as the podcast. And it was great. So I had to make sure that I had you here because I know we'd have a lot of fun and learn some things along the way.
We do have to invite people to go back because you were really insightful that day. The Spiel, you actually made our show open. So you recur every, week when the show plays, there you are.
Oh, wow.
In all of your greatness. And so we've got the Spiel TV show, which is anything but news, a news anchor for 20 years. I just want rainbows and unicorns, and we tell inspiring and uplifting stories, and we try to help people. And then we have a podcast, Market Abilities. It's one word, it's a little play on words there, and the hashtag MGM, just because we thought maybe people might recognize that acronym and want to, find out more. But we just want to help businesses and individuals, and many times you can do that simply by inspiring others, who are out there and doing remarkable things, just to emulate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys are doing some things that are positively bringing exposure to great people, great stories. Your broadcast on the web, I know, go all over the world, but even the TV show and the Spiel you mentioned, but tell us a little bit about what the Spiel is and how you got into that.
Well, actually, I was approached by my co-host at the time. She and I had worked together next door. She was in radio for 20 years, and I had done television, actually in this particular market for 14 years, having moved in from Buffalo and Boston and Florida. In the news business, you got to move every 2 years. But when I moved to Illinois, it felt much like home. And we did news next door to the radio station. And it was interesting because when there was a really big event, you would see these people come together and we would stay on the air, whether it was through television or radio. And she had called. We both exited that particular job at the time. And she called and said, let's do a fun show. People need to know that you know how to smile, because the world had gotten and is now very serious, and there doesn't seem to be a lot to smile about these days. So when she called, I hung up initially. She said, let's do a TV show, and I hung up. I just hung up on her. I thought that
Wait a minute, Angie. Wait a minute. She wanted you to do something and get together and smile, and you were like, nope.
I gotta go. I was done with television. When I walked away, I had written a children's book, and I had started touring with that, and just meeting people and finally having interaction with people, because for so many years they would see me on the news desk, but they didn't know anything about me because I never really got to interact with people. I just got to talk to a camera. So I hung up on her initially, and she called back. She said, no, really, let's do this thing. And it was great because we both had connections, and we both had things that we wanted to do that we had not been allowed to do yet. And so we're still, interviewing celebrities, but we found that just the average person down the road, everybody has a story, and we've used this television show to give aspiring artists a platform, but also to be that place where people can go and share their stories. And like I said earlier, if it can impact just one person, it's worth it. And then the other reason we do the Spiel is obviously we have a marketing ad agency on the other side of the house, and we do these phenomenal commercials. We're not doing commercials like everyone else. We're doing it in a storytelling fashion. It's like, why should I buy from these people? Well, we show you and we tell you, and we bring those people out from behind the brand, and we use that TV show again just to display that work. And it's been beneficial for our clients. It's been beneficial for all of those artists who have come on. And we've actually found out of late that a number of our artists appearing on the Spiel, which airs right now on a Fox Midwest affiliate. We've got about 1 million viewers in 5 states, to include Tennessee, Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, and Missouri. But some of the networks are calling on our guests, and they'll ask, how did you hear about me or this, what I'm doing? And they say the Spiel. So this thing, the internet, is just providing phenomenal, endless possibilities for businesses like mine, for what you're doing, and others out there.
Awesome. You mentioned connection, and you're a marketing person, and so you know how to connect. But part of what I believe helps you to achieve and to move forward on your journey for greatness is the people that you connect with along the way. So I always like to ask our guests to share with the audience how we're connected, how we got to know each other, and how that came along. And so share that from your perspective, Angie.
Gosh, it was so long ago. I mean, we've known each other so long. Interestingly enough, we were coming into Nashville to cover the CMA Fest. And that's that crazy week of country music, and everywhere you go, people are in the streets and they're enjoying talent. And I have always been one to appreciate unique accommodations. I don't necessarily like to stay in your run-of-the-mill hotels. I like boutique experiences, and that's just who I am. That's my something extra for myself. And there was this company that displayed some remarkable, phenomenal $1 million properties, and you happened to be on the other end of the phone line when I called, and in your usual fashion, you're like, well, what's in it for me? If you guys are going to town. And so you had a clear vision. You knew what you wanted us to do. You knew after seeing some of our work that we could help to bring these properties to life, to share with your audience. And, of course, get you some rentals. That's what the job was. That's such a huge industry and business now in Nashville, is development, because everybody wants into Music City. You guys just had the Grand Prix, and all these remarkable events are coming to town. So once I got to know you and talked to you on the phone, I had actually talked to you on the phone many times before I saw you in person. We just connected, and I don't know if it's the cockiness, because we both put on that air of being silly and all that in a bag of chips, when in fact we're just two business people and individuals making our way in the world. But I kind of liked you, so I kept calling, and you give good advice, and we've been able to tell your story and share some videos for you, and you've introduced us to remarkable people. I mean, real game changers and people who are doing things in the world. And I just consider it a real blessing to know you.
Yeah, well, likewise. I'm glad you kept it, safe and clean. You didn't talk about some of the negotiating that we did there where
you mean when you just every time you're like, Angie, can you like cut that in half, or can you like charge me a lot less? And you always beat me up on pricing, but that's the game, negotiating.
And you stay in beautiful places all over the city of Nashville and you know, never give me any credit for that, but that's fine. I've moved past it. We've had a good time. We've had some good business, and I enjoy our friendship immensely. So looking forward to continuing to do some great things together. So Angie, one of the things that I always like to ask people, and I'm curious from your perspective, because your path is a little bit different. You know, what do you attribute to your growth as a business professional, as an entrepreneur? You made a big transition from communications in terms of being an on-air personality to starting and running your own marketing firm. And now you're doing a hybrid of both. So, you know, what do you contribute your success to, or attribute your success to?
You know, I look at my life and many times just I'm in awe. And I take no credit for that. To God be all the glory and all of the experiences that he has afforded me. I'm a girl from Opp, Alabama, population of 2,000. Opp, Alabama, Southeast Alabama, about 80 miles from Panama City Beach. And I've been gone now as long as I lived there, but the South is home. And I just knew there was a world of possibilities, and I knew I wanted a piece of it. And I have been afforded opportunities through journalism and getting that broadcast journalism degree and working at TV stations all across the country. I've been to South America and the Amazon jungle and wakeboarding in Amazon tributary, which was not smart, man. There's piranha in there with really big teeth. So I've never gotten up so fast. We're in the Guinness World Book of Records, and we did a luge run and we climbed unclimbed peaks, which I'm not a mountain climber. But again, I trusted these individuals, and they took me on a journey that I just cannot explain. When you live on a glacial snowfield for 2 weeks and there's no way to shower, you realize real fast in life how spoiled we are. And when you get those things, man, it's like, it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's life-changing. And when you've been in the clouds and you've seen things like that and you've done things like that, you summarize with one word: thank you, God. It's God. It's not me, and he's working through me, and we're telling these stories. And, you know, then I've moved here, and when I left the news business, it was a cush job, man. I mean, you made a salary and they bought my clothes and paid for my hair and dry cleaning, and people are like, why would you ever walk away? And it's, you know, I was depressed. I didn't realize it, but 5, 6, and 10 o'clock at night, and it's all bad. I mean, 10 stories deep, and it's murder and death and destruction and chaos. And, you know, I can't have an opinion. And I sit there, and there were many nights that I would go to the bathroom and just lose it. I'm like, what's wrong with the world? And so I realized I was getting soft and I had to step away. And after I had my son, I had written a children's book. And like I said, I wanted to do fluff, and I did. And I managed to get that book through, you know, just the opportunities and the wonderment presented. And I got it in all 50 states, you know, in mom and pop shops. And I was doing theater, and I had built this life-size tractor, Timmy the tractor, and all of his friends. And I was teaching kindness and patience and working together. And then Julie called, and there was the Spiel. And I tell people, since the Spiel, the red tractor's been parked in the barn. And, you know, and now meeting businesses. And when I say my businesses, and we're a marketing ad agency, I think we're probably one of the own entities that will stand monthly, quarterly, and say, how do we do for you? Did we make you money? Because I understand, as a small business, as a large business, corporation, that's the end game. And we have a remarkable retention rate, and we're getting the job done because, again, we don't work for any group or television or, you know, radio or newspaper. We work for the business, and we get their message out there, and hopefully we get people to come in and use their services or buy their products.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about you personally, Angie. You went through this experience where you were depressed in your career, didn't realize it, and then you went to an extreme to where you brought happiness and joy to young people. and then you kind of found your niche and settled in. I mean, what do you attribute that growth path to?
Well, much like you, we've talked about this before. I get up really early. Usually I'm up at 4:30. And that's the time of the day that no one cares where you are or what you're doing. And I have that time to think and just be clear and ask for direction and vision and understanding and opportunity, which, by the way, that's my prayer every day, is that God would use me in some way to make a difference in the life of someone else. You know, I'm raising a teenager right now, and to him, it's all about $1 million contracts and flashy cars and boats and, you know, big homes. But we all know, having experienced that it's short-lived, and it's the difference you make in the lives of other people that really stay with you and changes your life forever. And that's one thing I really found attractive about you, is that I followed you around one day and you were meeting and mentoring and talking with people. And it wasn't about a monetary exchange. It was about making a difference and helping to better an organization and helping it run smoothly. And you can go to bed at night if you know that you've just changed one person's life or made a difference, or you know that you're on that course. Now, don't get me wrong, there were many sleepless nights when I'm like, how am I going to make payroll? What are we going to do? But I just know that, you know, with God's will, it will work out. And I'm not that anymore. I know that He'll take care of me, and I know that no one will outwork me. And that's the thing. A lot of people, they don't realize you got to put in the work. You know, you may own a business, but I come in and unlock the doors. I clean the toilets. I sweep the floor. You know, it's so much more than what people see from the outside, or what you let them see, which is all attractive and beautiful, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Angie, what would you say is a secret to success?
A secret to success, you know, you told me not to have these headphones on, right?
I've been knowing you all these years and you still don't listen to me, but you know.
I'm listening, I know, okay. The secret to success. The secret to success, it's really
for you. I mean, for you, you know,
that's really tough for me, because I don't think it's a secret. You know, if you've ever been in a client meeting or editorial meeting, and you and I have been in these discussions, I'll always say, to God be all the glory, thanking Him for opportunity. I don't know why it's happened the way that it's happened. And maybe it's because I didn't think that I was all that. I didn't think that I was capable of really doing anything without Him. And my faith, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm a wretched sinner. We all are. But I look to Him for real guidance and purpose. And it's crazy. It's like when you totally do that, when you turn your life over like that, He sends you the right people. Like, I've yet to put an ad out for a videographer or photographer, and I get the best. And He sends you opportunities, and He sends you another client. You know, one may have to bow out for a little bit, but and you just can't sweat the small stuff. And it's really all small stuff. So to me, that is success. I love to look into the eyes of my son, which, you know, I deem him my greatest accomplishment. And I tell him all the time, do not let me get this wrong, kid. Do you understand me? You know, he's my greatest accomplishment. But I don't know, success is a lot of things, but it's just that feeling. It's that feeling internally when you look up and you're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. I love it. Hey, there are probably listening out here somewhere, some would-be entrepreneurs or some young entrepreneurs or what have you. What's some wisdom you can share with them today?
Well, it's interesting. Let's first define an entrepreneur, because my son has asked me that. You know, okay. I keep going back to him, but these are the discussions that we're having of late.
But he wants $1 million contracts.
Right off the bat, I'm like, what do you do? What is your service? What is your product?
Right.
You know, who wants it? Why would they want it? And I think you have to be able to answer all of those questions. I think you have to have that work ethic that I'm telling you, you understand because you're there. You know what it takes. You know the sacrifices that you have to make. You get paid last. Everybody on your team gets paid first.
Yep.
But again, you know when you found that formula, and if you have an idea, there are ways to determine, especially in this day and age in digital technology and stuff, we can put it out there, we can test it. Do people want it? What would they pay for it? Where would it resonate best? So all of those things come into play, but do your research. If you believe in what you have, if you believe in what you offer, other people will believe in it. But don't come half-cocked and don't come behind smoke and mirrors, because people can see through that really quickly.
I love it. You got to give it your all. You got to be ready. And if you want to have those dreams, you got to have a game plan to get to them, right?
Absolutely.
So part of what we talk about is the intentionality of greatness, right? You can't just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to hustle and then you'll be great. Right. You have to have some purpose and some alignment and some strategy behind that. So how do you set your strategy for your show, your businesses? You know, what do you do that is an indicator that you are striving for greatness on purpose?
Well, we have a team, and actually of late, when you've been doing something for more than a decade, people find you, and there has become a selection process of whether or not, you know, we take on certain businesses, we take on certain ventures. People want our help. We really have to ask ourselves, how can we make a difference here? Can we make a difference here? What will it look like, you know, 5 years down the road? The last thing that I would want is a business owner, which I tell people this all the time. What was that old analogy? You need a little bit of money to make some money. So you have to let people know that you're out there. You have to invest in your business, because if you don't, you're going to have to buy the going out of business signs. So people come to us, we give them encouragement, free advice. We tell them what we've done. We tell them what has worked in other industries. And, you know, many times great relationships are formed. As far as talent for the show, we're doing a lot of case study where we go into these great restaurants, and when it's a phenomenal experience, we send a card back and we're like, the chef is amazing. We want to feature the chef. We've been fortunate enough to team with Prairie Farms, which is a leading dairy producer in the Midwest, and they help to pay for the Spiel in the kitchen segment. We try to give viewers what they want. They enjoy recipes. They enjoy, you know, how can I make this at home for my family? They enjoy being entertained. So we bring in this young talent, and I'm baffled every week when we have people in. I'm like, why are you not on the radio? Why are you not winning Grammys? Because you're just as good as anybody out there. And we all know that it's about being in the right place at the right time, knowing the right people, putting yourself out there. If you don't know the right people, get to know the right people. But it's usually not going to come to you. You need to be out there. You need to be working it every single day. I tell everybody, whether it's on the business side, the show side, my personal life, it's like, you know, you have to seek out these opportunities. You have to do your best, be your best, because you never know who's watching. And you never know when the opportunity will present itself right there in front of you. It's a matter of what you do with it. You know, we have opportunities in front of us all the time, but so many people pick it up and go, tomorrow or later when I have more time. Well, you just put an opportunity to the side, and that could have been it for you. That could have been that it thing. So just keep your eyes wide open, explore, make connections, meet people like Alfonso Alexander, and you're gold.
Hey, you're a marketer, I'll tell you. Hey, thank you for that. So you said meet people like Alfonso Alexander. So, and you know me, you followed me for a day. So, you know, one of the things that I'm going to always ask is, you know, what's going on? What are you doing? And how can I help you? So that's my question to you now, Angie. How can I help you? What can I do for you?
The thing that you do really well, and I've seen you do now for several businesses, and I most certainly want you to help me with this. You know how to forecast and look long term and set goals. And I think you even have a tradition where you will go out either, I think you said on your birthday, or is it Christmas?
On my birthday. Yep, okay. On my birthday.
You will go out on your birthday and you will set those goals. And, you know, there's that analogy, if you can see it, you can be it. You can experience it. So I think that's what I need to do better is I need to plan long-term where I want to go, how many more people I want to help, how many more projects I want to take on. And I think that would serve me well. And that is your expertise. And I would like to learn more about that and not just living day to day and, you know, giving thanks at the end of the day. It's like, whoo, I got through another one, you know?
Yeah, that's very important. Because the way I see it is you got to understand your purpose, whether it's you or your purpose for your business. And then once you understand that, that gives you the opportunity to kind of see and create that vision for it. And then once the vision is there, you've got to have some strategies that help you get to achieving that vision. And then those tactical, measurable steps that help you get to the strategies that then lead to the vision. So we definitely can work on that. Consider that done. You just make sure that we schedule some time to do it. Whether it's when you're in Nashville again, or if you need me to come to Illinois, let's just make that happen. You have my commitment. I'll help you put something together on that.
You know, something else that you do and do well, and I'm not afraid of it, man, you understand and you know the pivot. I've seen you pivot now a couple of times. Talk about the importance of the pivot.
So, you know, you mentioned having an opportunity and somebody say, well, I'll do that later. And then you said they may miss the opportunity. You know, one thing I think is that we have to stay ready. Be ready, because you never know when that golden opportunity is coming. And yeah, I've made several pivots. I've been a corporate guy and an entrepreneur for a long time. And the pivots that I make seem to be pretty drastic to people because I may go into this business and then I may shift into another business or what have you. But where I excel is in the core operations and strategy of a business. And it doesn't matter what kind of business it is, those things are going to be the same. So how do you structure from an operational standpoint, and how do you position people that work for you to be successful? And I can make those pivots that look like huge changes on the outside, but they're really me going in and doing the same thing, which is helping to understand how to assess the business and the people, and then helping position them to be successful. So since in just the 5 or 6 years that you and I've known each other, you've seen me go from leading a property management company, luxury vacation rental and Airbnb businesses, to managing a real estate management company, to leading a healthcare organization, continuing to do my consulting, running an international nonprofit that I still run, and doing diversity strategy and all kinds of other strategy work for various companies. And so you're right, but I like that variety. And the biggest thing for me is helping people and businesses be successful and be better tomorrow than they are today. And that's what I consider to be being great on purpose. Awesome. So thanks for asking that question. And again, definitely, you sign me up, I'll definitely help you. What kind of closing comments would you like to share with anybody that's listening? If you had something that you could give them, what would that be today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. An interviewer by trade, that's what I do. I kind of want to turn the tables a little bit, because I will tell you that you just talked about some of your resume, but it's so interesting when you have a young person on the outside looking in, and your office to date at NASBA is probably one of those that I know my team walked in, they're like, man, this guy has made it. You know, the corner office with the glass, and you see the downtown, and it's beautiful. But, you know, for you, I know it's all about the work, but it was so much fun to watch them see that and get to know you and really respect that part of you, and to know that however you define success, they felt like you were a picture of that. So I would be curious, and I think it would do the listeners and viewers well to know, I've heard this before, but your definition of success, what that means.
Yeah, sure. So let me just first say, just like you, I've been blessed. I know very clearly that God orders my steps. I also understand that um, purpose and pursuing purpose is so critically important to success. And what I've learned over the course of my life is the closer I grow to Him, the more clear my purpose becomes, and I can then better align with what it is. And so yes, I do have a beautiful office downtown Nashville. I'm blessed to have another office in Brentwood, a suburb just south of Nashville, for one of my other companies. And in both cases, I try to inspire people and utilize the resources that I have to inspire people to be better tomorrow than they are today. So success is a personal definition, or has a personal definition. What I consider to be success may not be what the next person considers to be success, because I think there's levels of it based on where you are in your life. When I first graduated from college, my goal was to make $80,000 a year. And then when I made $80,000 a year, I was in my 20s. And then my goal became to be six figures. And then it just continues to grow. And so what I really think the true essence of success is understanding your purpose and being able to walk in it, so that you would do the things that you do for free. But the fact that people recognize them enough and are willing to compensate you for them is just a blessing.
Yes.
And that truly is what equates to being success. And then when you add to that being able to make a positive difference in somebody's life, then for me, that's the ultimate thing. So I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you being here, Angie, on the podcast with me today. Look forward to helping you strategize your business. Look forward to us working together on some other projects, because I know we will.
I promise that if you love God with your body, your soul, your mind, that you will be rewarded in ways that you've never even imagined, and is accepting that remarkable gift of His Son. And, it's the rest of it is cake. He's going to give you all that you need. I promise. He wouldn't give us opportunities and chances if He didn't want us to succeed in that regard. But the real meaning of success is that wholeness and that feeling you get when He's able to shine through you and you make a difference in someone else's life. And those are the feelings and the rewards that you will take with you forever, long after any mansion, car, boat, cash. You hang on to those things, and I promise it's there, and He will provide. I promise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend, for being here with me today. This has been great. I look forward to us speaking again soon, and us getting together and doing something like this again soon too.
Let's do it. Next time we'll tap dance or something really exciting.
That works for me.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Great on Purpose podcast. I am Alfonso Alexander. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook so that you can continue to hear stories and get information that can help inspire you to be great on purpose.